Hello, and welcome back to Roslyn. If you're watching on YouTube, this should be episode 32. Thanks for joining me live on Twitch if you're here. Today's focus is quite simple, really. Roslyn needs jobs. If we come into our city info here, what am I looking for? Info views. And we go to our population tab, you can see we're around 2,400. We have 11,000 people, 24,000. We have 11,200 people employed, almost 11,000, almost 12,000 jobs available. But the big news here, obviously, is unemployment is at 13%. So if we just do some quick math and we say 11,206 people is 87% of, so I think that means really we need 12,800, really 12,000, we could honestly just round it up to 13,000 jobs. So we're about 1,000 jobs short of that right now. Certainly like the 700 open jobs there could get filled, but it's good to have some more overhead, because the other thing I'm really cognizant of right now is that our import-export balance is riding a very fine line. You know, you can see we're putting out some oil products, which I'm not exactly excited about. That's actually going to come into play today. And the other thing, we're putting out a lot of agricultural products, of course, as you might expect. You can see, I guess there's some raw crops coming out of there. And then obviously we're doing a lot of lumber. Just this last episode, we threw down this unique furniture factory. We can see this small warehouse is putting out paper. So that's going to come into play today, I think. You know, we're going to look at the goods that we have. We're exporting planed lumber, you know, a couple of just the basic specialized industry buildings in here are exporting. But overall, if we look at the Victoria logging site here, putting out quite a bit of plain timber, thanks to all our sawmills we threw down last episode, just to try to meet some industrial demand. Then we're putting out quite a bit of paper. So I'm excited about that, because I think there's something I want to do with paper that is going to meet industrial demand, give us another unique factory, and tie in really beautifully with what's already happening down here, specifically the university. Roslyn Polytechnic Institute, which currently is a 3-star university that could get to 4 quite easily. But really, right now, I'm planning to do a bunch of industrial development, not necessarily offices. So there'll definitely be some offices mixed in. You know, as you can already see right here, I've used a row of offices to flesh out this factory area, but also provide a non-polluting use to sort of buffer Roslyn Street here. You know, we're filtering industrial waste, so, you know, we're doing as much as we can with the pollution there. It's just going to be a factor. Obviously, this is also a major energy hub down here, so we want to be cognizant of that as well. So we are sort of starting to ride our line. We'll check our budget. It's at 96. I mean, we can bump it up. Go ahead and bump it up to 101. That gives us a little more room. But we may want to think about another power plant down here, realistically. So that's something to think about and factor into the build. In the meantime, I believe my coffee is finally ready. So, if you'll excuse me, I am going to grab a cup, and then I'll fill you in about the actual plan for today. Okay, so I need a lot of jobs, right? About 1,000 jobs I want to create today. This is going to be the area we're looking at. So this was all oil fields, and the pumps have cleared out. They've done their work. Most of what was here. So that means it's now prime for development. The first thing I'm going to do, unfortunately, is actually destroy a bunch of jobs, because I'm not happy with how this area right here has turned out, and I want to redo it. I'm just going to come through and get rid of all of this. And then right here, what I want to look at, so what I'm really excited about actually, is I think there's a really fun way to tie this industrial expansion into the university, and that is with the printing press. which is going to fit perfectly right like this. Initially, I did want it kind of faced a different direction. Let's go ahead and plop it down here and see how it looks, because these trees are not going to survive that spot, to be honest with you. And I want to go ahead and turn this off for now, because we do not have plastic production yet, so we're going to need to figure that out. And what I think maybe actually is the play here is we rotate this around. So now it's sort of more facing the university. I guess I did really want sort of this very office looking building with all the branding on it kind of facing out here though. So let's just see if we can't figure out how to make that work. How far? That's too far. Okay. So I think this is the maximum we can do there. Does that give us enough room? It sure does. Okay. So that's what we want to see. We'll drop that right there. So then I'm really happy with how that looks. You kind of, as you're coming down Roslyn Street here, you can see a little bit. While I'm here, is I want to throw down a small warehouse. So here's the thing. When I did a test build of this, that was still where it was initially, which meant there was plenty of room for two of these here. One for paper and one for the output of this factory itself. Now there is not, which raises a new challenge here. One thing's for sure is we're gonna need paper for the printing press. So, yeah, see if I could stick this right over here, I'd be very happy. Alas, not. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. These should still work fine down here. So they're like 5 deep by 8 long. That's only enough for 2. Okay. In fact, let me see if I can get the road guidelines here, because if we can go parallel to that, that may be the way to do it here. Okay, let's see if that's enough room. Honestly, I think I want to redo this. I think I may need to move all this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game now, because this is getting into kind of dicey territory in some senses, I think. These are all dirt roads anyway. It's not out of the question that we might see a full redesign back here. I'm going to come up 12. Maybe we'll just actually make this feel a little more like it's still part of the grid here. Now that this oil is all gone. There we go. I'll go ahead and throw that into there. I think that works actually really well. And that frees up a lot of room up here, which I really like. So, we do need to figure out the plastic situation, right? One other thing I want to do, I want to go ahead and turn this on. And we're going to set this to balanced. We'll set this to balanced. And we're going to set this one to fill, because I do want to actually have a good supply of oil. This is going to create more jobs, having this opened up. And we have plenty of money to import oil right now, for being real. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, this is going to be for unique factory products. We'll actually leave that on empty so they get exported quickly. This is going to be for paper. And we'll put that on balanced. Good progress so far, I think. Should check and see, how many jobs are here. 450. What's the issue here? Doesn't have oil. Okay. Well, I think it's about to get dropped off here. Or is that what you're doing? No. Yeah. Oh, interesting. It's getting it from a recycling plant. So, this is a good opportunity to think about what's our trash status like. It's a little low there. Maybe this is a good spot for that as well. I think we should go ahead and upgrade this. So, let's go ahead and just see if we can't toss a recycling center down right here. That'll work. And that'll just give us a little extra garbage capacity while also potentially providing a little extra fuel right there. And then obviously the other thing we need to do is actually have some sort of plastic production. So, I do want to go ahead and think about how we can continue to bring in some oil. That's going to mean expanding this up here. I'm going to come back through. We're going to throw a couple of big ones right down here. Again, this is creating jobs as well as boosting our oil production. See, we are taking a hit to our budget, and that's likely because we're importing a ton of oil. Still making money industrially right now. But I would anticipate that getting these filled up is going to be a big import job. Because you can actually really create... The thing about oil running out in this game is you can create an import industry still, which is kind of nice. Okay. So, we need some plastic production, which means we need these petrochemical plants. Now, these are a pretty noxious use. Nearby to the oil storage here, so that they will produce plastics. And then of course we'll also need somewhere to put those plastics. I don't suppose, yeah, just a little too short there. And we'll go ahead and set this to plastics. Okay, so I'm thinking we move this back here. Can bring this right here. And then maybe even stick another one right here. Okay. So that should give us some plastic production, as well as some jobs, right? A lot of jobs available at the petrochemical plants. That's kind of wild. Look at that. Okay, those are a big job creator. More than anything else we've got here, honestly. Okay, so now we've got plastic production. We've got plastic storage. We've got paper starting to get stacked up over here. We've got our... I think we're ready to turn the printing press on. Let's go ahead and do that. And then let's see what this very basic has done for unemployment. Almost nothing. It's created some jobs though. So we could sneak in a couple of these. We'll definitely want a yard though for the petroleum output. there's really nowhere for that. Although I guess right here could work. Okay, that might be just enough room for one of these. Yep. In fact, I may just keep moving this around until we find the right spot, because this is a much smaller polluting radius, so it's not quite as noxious up here. I won't even hit the trees on that thing. We're out on Roslyn Street. And I think hopefully overall this is going to move a lot of, because these don't really have any, they only have noise pollution. This does have a little bit of noxiousness to it. Oh, and so then the other thing I want to do here, we're actually going to name this. So, like a lot of schools, RosPoly now has its own press, which I think is a really fun way to mix the industries and university DLC together here a little bit. So, we're still hurting for jobs. So I'm going to do a couple things in here. I'm going to zone in a fair bit of industrial still. Help flesh this area out. I also want to put some offices like right here, where they'll sort of be out of the way. I think there's much we can do there. Go ahead and do some pedestrian connections, even though they might not really do anything for us. I think this obviously is a spot where you would see, you know, something. I guess it doesn't really go through there. There's no doors or anything. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but I think it's still nice to have. I think we could anticipate, you know, a little bit of commercial somewhere in here. I guess first things first is I should get the fencing back up. Oh, this looks like it's starting to actually get some plastics in it now. 8% full. This has got plastics. It's missing paper now? That's interesting. Let's see how big this one turns out to be. Some of these offices are quite large, although this looks like the perfect size here, honestly. And this is filled in quite quickly. Go ahead and historicize some stuff so it stays nice and low to the ground. Obviously, this can be industrial here. Mark all this off. So this is actually the oil office headquarters here. It goes right on to Roslyn Street. And I think there's plenty of room for some expansion back here. And check those numbers again. Still so high. Okay, so really not doing enough. I'm just going to keep adding a little bit of industrial back through here, wherever there is room. I don't want it on this road. So I should note, these are not, this area is not, does not have the oil specialization, because I don't want to use up my oil on those buildings. I want to save it for, you know, petroleum here, which I'll set this to empty actually, because we want to be making money off that. And then obviously we want plastics for a printing press. I think it is time to start expanding over to here. Because if we put storage over here, that actually makes a ton of sense. There we go. Let's do that. Then we can actually throw one more of these right there. Let's go ahead and see what else we could do. Here's a household plastics factory that just requires those two things, so that might actually be good here. find the right spot for it. Is that enough room for this now? Yes, if we maybe do it sideways here. Which I'm more than happy to do. Do it right there. Oh, perfect. Okay, do that. So this needs petroleum and plastics. I'm gonna go ahead and bring our petroleum storage right over here. Yes. Perfect. So those will be coming out of here, feeding right into there, going into that. Probably should have another yard for plastics over here. Problem is, all of these oil things are so noxious. Look at that pollution radius, it's just nuts. Even up here, it's starting to impact our trees on Roslyn Street. Obviously down here. I think plastics can get over here pretty easily. Obviously, we would want here is some sort of warehouse. And that would also be for unique factory goods. And we'll set that to empty. Okay, that's got its plastics. It's waiting on its petroleum, which is funny because it's right there. Let's see, and that number's finally starting to come down a little bit. Okay, that's exciting. Okay, can do that. And then I think we would see some offices right here. Shop. We'll just make all of this offices as well. And maybe just a couple little shops. And then let's see if we can go ahead and bring this fence back in here. Won't let me. Oh my god, we got it. Okay. That. And then we'll bring that in nice and tight right there. Okay. That's all looking pretty good. Throw some more stuff down right here. Just all this. Got plenty of industrial demand right now, no need to worry about that. Oof, that is humongous. Really does not quite fit in there. Down to 10%, look at that. We are making a dent here in the unemployment situation. Thanks to 2 unique factories, and I think honestly, like this zone has come together. So one thing I do want to do, so we will just go ahead and pull RosPoly right across here. We do want to extend, so I have some zones set up on a couple of roads here. That is in the event that I ever wanted to do any sort of the vanilla traffic management by policies. You can see this Crest Avenue road here is its own district. The same way that Roslyn Street is, or Factory Street is. This is just because you can come in here, right, and do like policies that say, I mean, first of all, you could do stuff like free public transit on a limited basis, right? And I could just have the tram line on Roslyn Street or Factory Street be free public transportation. Obviously, you can do like tax breaks and stuff in specific streets on their districts. Here's what we're looking for. Old towns, so only residents and businesses can use the area for motor vehicles, ban other motor traffic. What are the other ones? Heavy traffic ban, that's the other one. So this one and Old Town, heavy traffic ban. This bans heavy traffic in an area. Make sure there are option routes available because businesses. So if I wanted to put this, for instance, on a neighborhood like the Daughters, Factory Street would still be its own thing. Actually getting very close on workers here, and why is it so big? I don't want that. Oh my god, what if we just... I'm gonna do that. Wow, and we actually are tanking the industrial demand. A lot of commercial demand. But, again, our import-export balance right now, goods are the biggest import, and we've broken the balance. And then I actually just want to run this fence back here. 2 reasons. One is maybe Crest Oil Group would like to sell some more of this frontage space for some commercial development. That makes a lot of sense right here. Second, I think maybe we need a bar. A couple of bars or something. For all the hard-working folks down here. So we'll go ahead and call this the Crestville Strip, because this is Crestville right here, obviously. And then we want to come through it and we'll give that... Wait, it doesn't want to show up, does it? Let's see if that's on now. It's not. It's not. Interesting. Why doesn't it want me to do that? There we go. And I'd rather have some regular commercial down here as well. Okay, just doing some quick landscaping back through here. Of course, we do want to catch stuff as it's popping in here. Don't want anything to level up too quick. Okay, but here we are getting the nightlife stuff in here. That's good to see. And then I think I want to put offices back here. Maybe just a little bit more industrial, not too much. We don't want to pollute up the place. And right here, why not have like a little employee seating area? See how nice it stays, but for now at least, I think this is a great addition. Throw a bunch of picnic tables out here. And then of course we'll want some garbage cans. This is nice, so if you work in one of these offices or the factories around here, you want to come have a meeting outside. Oh yeah, we're catching a lot of these just in time. I love how this block came together. I think this is really nice. A lot of good office space here. Here we go. And then the real question is, if I put some trees here, will they survive? Hopefully this block is healthy enough to do so. And I'm just going to keep adding in some of these. These are going to help with the value back here, I think. I mean, not immensely, but great. More stuff coming right in. I love how this looks with the offices right next to the warehouse here. Let's go ahead and check that unemployment number. 8%, getting down to a much more manageable place. Okay, let's just see how many people are working over here now. 1,000. So we've really doubled the work over here. I think there's one more quick thing I want to do today, and let's take a look at this. So the last thing I want to try to do today is maybe just try to flesh out this ore industry a little bit. Again, just to keep adding jobs. And I am not going to worry about terraforming this because I really like the natural curve of that and I don't want to lose it. So then we'll look for some sand storage, I guess. Honestly think I may just throw down a ton more mines then. Money's really not a problem right now. As long as we can get 48 tons a week out of these. So I know this looks ugly, but I really don't know what else to do with it right now, honestly. Great, love that. Again, we're just going to make sure that we have our power connection here with one of these little boxes, the earthquake sensors. It kind of just looks like a general power transformer or some kind of electrical utility, and it is going to make that jump for us, as you can see right there. Those were disconnected and now they're not. In fact, I think we can scale the electricity budget back a little bit. Let's go ahead and take it down to 85 and see what it does. For nighttime, I'm going to leave it up at 90, even though I'm not playing with night on right now. So we're just going to wait and see. Yep, and that dropped, but still gives us plenty of overhead. I like where this is headed. What's our job availability like? It's more up around, so it's up where we needed it to be. You know, I kind of just want to leave this running, make sure we don't have any other major issues, and see what else happens. The Bronco District and the waterfront down here is looking pretty good from last episode. I mean, the last couple episodes really have been huge for the city, haven't they? A lot of new. I think this looks so much better than it did. Just moving some stuff around. I mean, it's not super realistic, obviously, to move a bunch of oil power plants that have been operational for decades, but it's a video game. And it does give us that option, and I think it's nice because can totally redevelop an area like this and turn it into a real industrial powerhouse. I mean, I think we doubled the number of jobs that were in here. Let's go ahead and check on it now. I think it was around 500. Obviously, there's still about 200 open positions here. We're making plenty of money. Let's go ahead and check the budget again. So, wow, our industrial income is massive. I mean, obviously, we're expending quite a bit. Let's go ahead and check some of the travel paths for some of this stuff, right? Because I think that's interesting. Have people walking to work? That's kind of cool. Huh. Okay, what about our unique factories? Okay, so yep. You see truck traffic is coming here. That's good. So this is our guy right here. Yep, delivering, so it comes from the paper mill down here. It's going to the new university press. That's exactly what we want to see, is the paper from within the community already going to use here instead of just being exported. Because as you upscale, you can see the money you make is just wow. So let's see what this is like. Giant paper truck coming through town here. I mean, this is not the vehicle I would expect to see hauling paper. Obviously a tractor carrying a trailer full of logs, but you know, I guess you can't control everything. A lot of Broncos fans down here, it looks like, coming through Eureka. You can see there's still quite a bit of area along Factory Street here that is quite ripe for development. Take the right here, the 6 point. Then we're going to come past some of the university and stuff. So that's how you know you're getting close to the press then, I guess. Getting close to the university. Whoa, kind of cut him off there, pal. Careful with that. And City Skylines is not a game that plays well up close, but I am impressed with how this looks. And I love that we were able to add a university press down here. I mean, if you don't know anything about academic publishing, which why would you? A lot of universities run their own printing presses. So I think it's very cool that we're able to have a printing press for the university here now. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and crank these up. I want to do that with that, and I want to do it with this too. Honestly, I don't really understand why you wouldn't do this. If you've got the supplies, if you've got everything you need, do that. Do that for sure, because it's only going to increase the profit margins from what I've seen. If things are running well and efficiently, there's no reason not to. You can see this is actually really nice. I like that this still feels like a part of the industrial area here, but aside from this one warehouse, these are all offices and a warehouse. I mean, this is zoned industrial, so it's going to pollute a little bit, but the rest of this shouldn't be too bad, which I think is really exciting. And look at how that looks right next to the warehouse there. I love that. Oh my god. And that is just like a 1x zoned in there, 4 deep. Again, we're down to 6% unemployment. That is like a much more reasonable number. We've cut that in half, which is really exciting, I think. But it is, you know, something that's going to be on my mind as I start to try to fill in the final areas out here, is that we're in a very tenuous balance right now between industrial demand and residential demand. So hopefully as time progresses, oh my god, look at that 53K! What is that? If we just let this run for a minute, we will be rolling in cash. Hola. Let's go ahead and take a look at what else is going on down here. So, the new recycling center. These guys are doing their jobs. That's great because that adds some capacity over here. Small oil pump. So that's working as intended. These rigs are bringing oil in. How are we looking? That's 100% full. Balanced. Oh, so maybe that's what it is. It's just that now that these have reached a sort of equilibrium. Oh, see, because now it's dropped back down to 15. So having oil imports will make that radically fluctuate for sure. The industry is one of the biggest things it does is make some major fluctuations week to week in your income. All that said, I'm very excited with how far this has come. This looks like a proper industrial operation down here now. And I think that's really exciting. Thanks for tuning in. You know, like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and all that. Check out the rest of the series. Like I said, this is episode 32. The last couple have been some real bangers. If I can toot my own horn for a minute. Obviously, still a lot to come here. So stick around. You know, come check us out. Thanks for tuning in. Have a nice day.